Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Wow, you sound
Cheers.
so excited.
Are you being funny?
I'm being very facetious.
Oh, you don't think I was excited?
No, but hey, maybe it just didn't come out in your voice. What'd you do last night on New Year's?
Nothing.
I know.
Absolutely nothing. At one point, I thought, I'm going to take off my makeup, I'm going to pop some corn, and I'm going to get in bed and eat the popcorn and watch TV. That's exactly what I did. And that was at about 10.
And then you fell asleep.
And then I fell asleep. Oh, I took a melatonin too. I popped the melatonin before the popcorn, and then I popped off to sleep.
We've had several New Year's Eves out. So it was kind of nice to have one that was a little more chill, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was in Texas, as we all know. I was in Texas having New Year's there. But we did, it was Zoe's boyfriend's birthday. So we did the Texas Roadhouse, steak and potatoes, very
Yeah.
traditional. Yeah. And came home and hung out and just hung out and did New Year's there. And I don't know, I think I was in bed around 1. So anyway, to all of you listeners out there, Happy New Year going into 2025. I cannot believe that it is 2025.
I cannot believe that we are starting our third season.
Yeah. I know it just keeps getting better and better too, because we have all kinds of fun things like we'd mentioned in advance to all of you. Michele is going to share a little bit about a recap on our season, this last season, and then we'll get into a little bit about what we're going to be doing.
Third season. Excuse me. Third season, 100th episode.
Yay.
Who knew that we would be doing that? But here we are. And this last year, I think was, for me anyways, I don't know about you, Jules. I feel like when I was going through the episodes that we did over this last year, every time I would look at one, I was thinking, I learned something literally from every single episode. There was a takeaway. So I was really thankful for that as I was looking at that list. But what I was checking out was episodes that got the most downloads. And I was looking at one a month. So as we go back, do you remember the sexual revolution episode?
Yeah. I think we played a Beatles song to start off with that one.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I think we did it better then.
Yeah. No. I mean, that one was good because there were so many different things that really relate to today. And a lot of it has to do with the female sexual revolution and just, the burning of the bras and all the stuff that was happening, that kind of Roe v. Wade that was transitioning our country really at that time, the Vietnam War. I mean, we were not privileged to know a lot of this ourselves because we weren't really there. I mean, I was a teeny tiny baby. I think you were too, right?
Teeny tiny.
Well, you were tinier than me at that point because you're younger, but we didn't really know a lot about it. So I hear music now that is from that era, and that's all I think about.
Yeah.
So that was your favorite or the one that had the most downloads.
Back towards the beginning of the year. So as we go back, but yes, I was going to say that was one of my favorite episodes.
And episode number?
That one was episode number 51.
51. Okay, so that was right at the beginning of the second season. Mm-hmm. You guys have to go back and check it out. It was pretty good.
Yeah. And then there was the one about PDA.
Yeah. How do you feel? Have you changed your thought process on that at all?
I mean, I haven't changed my thought process. I've just gotten more creative as to how I do it.
Oh, girlfriend. Nobody else can see.
Well, I mean, there's that,
what she's doing.
That's always
underneath the table.
Underneath the table.
With her foot. Oh, I'm getting really specific. I don't know why.
It's getting hot in here. Yeah.
She's going to see her sweetie tomorrow. She's going to be flying out to see him, and she's going to Park City. He was just here. She's getting a lot of Rick time. So that smile on that girl's face is worth everything.
Yeah.
She's a lot happier.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, I don't want to talk about that anymore.
That one was episode 53. I don't have all the episode numbers as we go through these, but Yeah.
I
That
might
one I
know
did.
some of them.
Yeah, you might know. Yeah, that one anyways was episode 53, and I enjoyed that one as well.
Yeah, I still am not all about some strange man sticking his tongue down my throat in the middle of the street.
Well, there's that too. So you haven't
Unless I
changed.
like him. In that
Yeah,
case,
yeah. I mean,
in that case, I'm probably okay with it. Just kidding. We'll see.
so feet under the table and tongues down the throat. There we go.
We're starting the
That's a
year
wrap
off
on
right.
that one.
We're starting the year off right.
Then the next one with multiple downloads was Great Divorce, the Great
Yeah.
Divorce episode.
No, I remember when we first started talking about that one, you'd never heard that term.
I had never heard of that term, and I mean, learned that in itself. So,
But our age group or the demographic that we really, kind of cater to in a lot of ways is women our age or younger, maybe a little bit younger. But the whole concept of getting divorced after the kids have flown the nest, after, all of these things have taken place in relationships and stuff is real. I mean, we both are
yeah.
in that same category because we were divorced in our 50s. So yeah, it was I thought that was a really enlightening good one. It kind of made me realize how we are so not alone, because when you're going through the divorce process, you do feel so alone,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
that was a little bit reinforcing for me
At
anyway.
any age.
Yeah. So if you're planning that on your goal list for 2025, you might want to hit that episode. Might help you.
Great Divorce.
Yeah.
And then there was Navigating Trauma.
Yeah, that was with Kate.
Yeah, with Miss
Yeah.
Kate.
We had Kate, our therapist, on. We talked about trauma and just how people navigate trauma. That one in particular did not have the best audio.
Yeah.
And so it was great information. We're probably going to get her on again. But really, it's like a lot of what she had to say resonated with both of us, I think, and
A
was
lot of
pretty
downloads
valid.
on that one.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like you said, the sound wasn't that great, so we definitely need to revisit
Yeah.
another one with her.
We're still figuring all this shit out with our volume and our sound. And Michelle, it's like we're back on video.
Yeah,
She did not want that, but
it's
she's
okay.
just totally humoring me.
Quiet Quitting.
Yeah.
That was another one.
So Quiet Quitting had a lot of downloads on it. And
Yeah,
I
it did.
think we were talking about two different things on that one. Quiet quitting in relationships, but also quiet quitting at work, which was a term that was actually put into place during the pandemic, because you saw a lot of people that were just kind of doing the bare minimum to get by. A lot of people were not being supervised. Now, that's not to say that there wasn't a level of production that was really high for a lot of people, because there was, but there were a lot of people that were just kind of, doing the Benjamin thing, just earning a paycheck, the bare minimum that they could do. And then when you think about quiet quitting in a relationship, it's just kind of when someone checks out.
Yeah.
And there's no effort being placed towards someone. There's no communication. It's like, they're not spending time together. That's quiet quitting in a relationship, and something to really be mindful of if you're concerned about that, or, needing to have your relationship nurtured. So
that could be any relationship, really.
Yeah.
Because there's so many dynamics in a lot of different relationships, friendships, family relationships.
Actually, good point. Friendships, there's definitely some of that too.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as noticeable with friendships as it would be with someone that you're in a relationship with.
Right.
Just because, it's something that you constantly have to nurture every day. What are we getting to my favorite one yet?
The zombie apocalypse.
Yes.
Was that your favorite?
That was my favorite one. The most useless one.
Yeah. Yeah.
But hey, got you thinking.
Or zombie apocalypse.
Michelle, you just are pissed off because you have to cook.
No, I am not pissed off about that. I embrace that, wearing the apron and the pearls and being in the kitchen. I'm good with that.
As long as we protect her. And here I'm sounding like I'm such a badass. I'm going to carry a gun. Yeah, right. I'm not doing that. I'm just going to direct people. We were talking about that when I was in Texas, and Andrew has his, is it an AK-4 or AR-15 or some stupid big old gun that I'm like, why did you get this? And he was, well, because he's in Texas and they can. And I'm just like, I just need to stop right now. But it's you even have signs outside some of the places, the establishments, saying no guns allowed, inside. It's everywhere.
Really?
They have a lot of guns there.
Well, I mean, I'm sure. I
Yeah.
don't know because I've never been
But
there, but
honestly, it doesn't feel unsafe. It's not that kind of thing, but I just wonder if some big thing happened, if everybody be pulling out their guns and crossfiring at each other, because they all think they're so well versed on the gun
well, if
issue.
there's some madman doing it, I'd be more than glad that somebody's got a gun shooting
Mhm.
back at him.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm a little bit of a hypocrite on that
I know,
because
I was like, "Wait, what?"
I'm calling myself a hypocrite.
Oh.
You know, it's kind of like anything else that you don't like, but it's a necessity at some point. I think there's I think there's boundaries to some of those necessities. That's just my
Life
thought
is full of
process.
boundaries these days. I mean, just like as we get older, we learn about boundaries, we're better at setting them. There's just boundaries in everything. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries.
Michelle just wants to throw caution to the wind and go run naked out in Majorca, Spain or something. And
But anyways, yeah, the zombie apocalypse. Yeah.
that
That
was my fave.
yeah. My favorite, if we're talking about favorites right now, was the one on food, processed foods
That was pretty eye opening.
and the dark side.
And you know what? I gotta be honest. It's like there's a lot of things that I will not eat now after
Yeah.
that because you see, or I'm looking at my vegetables. By the way, not a lot of vegetables in Texas. I was just going to say, I mean, we didn't have a lot, there are not a lot of options for vegetables, a lot of options for meat, like steak and pork belly and whatever meat, but not, yeah, you have to search vegetable options. But total side note on
Yeah.
that. But I think about my vegetables and then I think about all that meat and it's like, is there hormones in it? Do they put hormones in their cows? I don't think they do it as much in Texas. A lot of the stuff that they had for those restaurants there was local and was
Isn't
grass
everything
fed.
big in Texas? How do they get them big if they're not giving them hormones? I don't know.
Well,
I'm
they
just
don't get them big, I guess I mean, I didn't see any of them, but
that's the only thing that's not big in Texas.
it there's a lot of big things in Texas,
I
but
mean, I just yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I did kind of start thinking about that because I'm like, well, okay, here's all these vegetables and everything and I'm like, are they GMO vegetables? Probably.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all the food we eat. That's the food we eat.
So yeah, a lot of good stats on that episode. There's a whole lot out there because so much information is available now, and I think there's a lot more people that are mindful now because they're starting to be educated on many things that have to do with the food industry. So
Well,
there's
I
that
think it's
one.
pretty
That was my
enlightening to
favorite.
know that other countries don't allow a lot of the stuff we allow.
Yeah.
So that right there tells you something. But
The cell phone drama, that the dilemma of having cell phones in the classroom, that was another one that got pretty decent downloads.
well, it got downloads and we got a lot of opinions.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, I was really surprised.
Uh-oh.
And actually, I was really surprised that we had people that were upset about the idea of not having cell phones in the classroom. There were
Yeah.
parents because of mass shootings.
Yeah.
But most of the teachers that we have listening to us, we got a lot of comments from them about, oh, hell no. Well, they didn't say it that way, but
Yeah.
no phones in the classrooms because it's so disruptive. And I am inclined to agree. I don't, we had our school time with no phones and we did just fine. God, I sounded like a Gen Zer or whatever. I sounded like a boomer. I don't identify with them, but I did sound like one.
That's okay. I'm embracing the fact that,
Yeah.
yeah, and sound old fashioned and old more and more every single day.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it.
Not everything. I like things that are convenient. Like, I mean, we've talked about AI as an example, and it's like AI is going to be very convenient, but it's super dangerous
Yeah.
because there are so many bad things that can happen, but there are also a lot of really good things that can happen with it too. And I don't even think we've hit the surface on any of that. We did an
It's
episode on
just
that one
starting
as
to
well.
happen.
Yeah. It's just kind of sneaks up on you. Like
Mhm.
all of a sudden you've got a GBT chat GPT on your computer. I'm like, oh, where'd
Yeah.
that come from? That's what it
Try
is.
that.
Yeah. Do we have any more that you want to highlight?
Quickly, I'm going to highlight the table talk on women's health that when
Yeah.
MB was with us. That was
Yes.
another great one. You can, of course, guess what that is about. A lot of good information that we talked about in that one. Another one was jealousy and envy.
Hmm.
That was a high number of downloads. teen pregnancy and adoption, open adoption. So
I'm
the
so happy Leah shared her story with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
And then you know which one got a lot of downloads?
Huh?
It was this dad and asshole.
Well,
That
really?
episode.
I'm not really surprised because the dad,
No, me either.
he
That
was an
just
asshole.
yeah, he was.
I even posed that scenario to the people that I was with in Austin, and the people that I would have said differently even said it.
Yeah, that he was an asshole.
That he was an asshole, yeah. And I have a tendency to agree. And we're not enabling our children at all. I mean, we do coddle them, I think, to some degree, or have coddled them to some degree. If you're able to, you obviously want the best for your children, but at the same time, it's like we're not letting them fly either. So there's got to be a better way to get your point across than punitive,
Right.
measures like that.
Right.
So, but yeah, I like that. I like that one because I feel like we are able to really get feedback on what people think.
Yeah.
And it's a legit question,
It's a legit question and somewhat controversial.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah. So that's kind of in a nutshell the last 12 months, some of our more popular episodes. And yeah, I learned a lot this last year.
So going into 2025, we have a couple things planned, don't we? We have some fun things planned.
We do. Yes, we do. You want to tell them about it, Jules?
Well, we were thinking that would be really fun to add a little segment at the end of each one of our episodes that was a kind of a agree to disagree topic, but fun, not like super serious or anything like that, but just something to kind of throw out there that we might agree or disagree on. Typically, it's going to be obviously something that we maybe don't share the same point of view on. Otherwise, it would be kind of boring. But we are going to do that and have that towards the end of every episode. And then if you guys want to chime in and comment, we would love to hear your thoughts on that. And Michele, what are we naming that segment?
I think we're going to call it What the Hell, Ring the Bell.
What the hell? Ring the bell.
What the hell? Ring the bell. And what I was thinking was, even mid-episode, if something triggers a thought, maybe we stop right in the middle of an episode and say, what the hell? Ring the bell. And we'll just interject it there in the middle of the episode.
Kind of like when we stop and say, oh, that would be a good episode.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Same kind of thing.
We're just going to mix it up a little bit and have some fun with it and see where it goes from there. So with that in mind, Michelle's going to ring the bell.
Oh, here we There we go. What the hell?
Here we go.
Are you ready? Okay, what's the topic?
The topic is, what is it, Michele?
Bush or no bush?
Bush or no bush?
Bush or no bush?
For those of you who do not know what we mean.
Are we talking Barbara or George?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
We're talking about your vajayjay.
Bush or no bush?
Bush or no bush? What do you think, Michele?
I think it's dependent on a lot of things. Here I go with my disclaimers. But I think a little bit.
A little bit, like a landing strip.
But see, that's us. We really need to be asking men this question, right?
Yeah.
In regard to, but me personally, a well-trimmed, well-groomed bush.
Okay. So now let me ask you this. What men want is great, but really what we want is the most important.
I know, but see, for me, I'm all about pleasing my guy.
I know. And it's like, but still, it's like, how do you feel comfortable?
Well, it doesn't really have any kind of impact on me, whether I have a bush or no bush.
Oh.
Do you think that it does?
Yeah, like in the summertime and stuff.
Well, that's what I mean. Well-groomed, trimmed, all of that.
Manicured, coiffed.
But I have to say...
Hey, stop.
If you're with somebody and they like it bald, tear that shit off. That's what I say. Maybe not all the time. You don't have to do it that way all the time, but to throw a little spice and fun in the relationship, maybe you have that landing strip and then all of a sudden surprise him with the bald. There's all kinds of possibilities when we're talking about the bush.
So the bush back in like the 60s, 70s, 80s was like literally a bush. Guys too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like not coiffed at all.
Quaffed.
And I'm like, dude,
There goes
quaff, please
Julie with
quaff.
her fancy words.
Yeah.
Quaffed. I do know what that means though, but it is a fancy
I'm
word.
all about the bald.
The bald, yeah.
Yeah. I'm all about the bald. Although when you really think about it, it's like you have to kind of wonder, do guys like think about it being like a child that hasn't gone through puberty yet? When you really think, I mean, perverted guys.
I have no idea, but that's why I say the possibilities are there. Bush or no bush, bald or bush, however you want to phrase it. You really can do anything. Unless you permanently get rid of it, then you don't have options.
It grows back.
Then it's not
If you
permanently
want it
gotten
to,
rid
it
of.
will.
Yeah.
Okay. Ding, ding, ding,
Oh
ding,
yeah,
ding.
ring that bell. We'll ring it again. We're done with that.
Done with that topic. So now we know that Michele likes a nice little coiffed area and Julie's all about being bald. Okay. Now that we've had that little segment, we're going to just move on to our closing comments.
Oh yeah, closing comments. Let's wrap
Yeah.
this up.
Zip it up, girl.
Wrap it up, zip it up, and now
Glove it up, wrap it up, sip it up. Do whatever you need to do.
Well, so really quickly as we wrap it up, do you have a word for 2025? I know we talked about words before. You're big on words, going into the new year, and there you go. What did you?
So I had brought this up before, right? The word, and every year for the last few years, not every year, like my whole life, but every year the last few years, I've come up with some kind of word that's helped me stay focused or focused in the direction that I wanted to put my attention. And then if I had difficulty or I was feeling like I was taking a slide backward, then I could kind of refer back to that. And so I wrote it. I write the word on my mirror in the bathroom so I see it in the morning, and I have it on my bulletin board over here in my bedroom that I keep track of some stuff, and on my phone, and it's like on just anywhere, places that you can see it.
Yeah.
So Michele and I were talking about it today, and she's like, "Yeah, I didn't pick a word." I'm like, "Really? You didn't pick one?" Maybe this is a girl thing. I don't know, because I've talked to other people about it, and they kind of are looking at me like, "Why would you do that?"
I think it's just in the last few years become kind of a trend.
Oh.
And so it's more known than it used to be, but I can see where it's not really well known. Yeah.
But the purpose behind it makes sense.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
And it's almost like replacing the New Year's resolution with a word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not big on New Year's resolutions because I feel like you're setting yourself up for failure. It's an all or nothing kind of a thing. So I do try to stay away from that and just maintain the things that I'm doing all year long or trying to do all year long. And we all have slip ups, right? But just trying to stay healthy and just, be a happy person and a good person, just the usual stuff that we talk about.
What's your word? What's your word? What's your word?
You're going to love it.
I don't know your word.
It's listened. Because people
Holy shit.
I know, right?
Really?
I'm listening to you right now.
I know.
Because I need to shut my mouth.
I just say that facetiously because I know you're looking at me like, what's she going to say when she finds out my word?
So she's going to remind me of my word all the time when I won't shut up. But yeah, I think out loud. And so sometimes I just need to stop talking. And everybody that knows me would probably agree. So that's my word.
Listen, I like it.
Listen. Yep.
I like it.
And all of you out there can remind me. Now I'm being held accountable.
She asked me my word and I hadn't thought about a word. I did a word last year and I don't even remember what it was because I didn't do anything with the word like you do. You're very intentional about putting it in your face and everywhere you see and all of that. And so kind of like you say, resolutions set you up for failure. I felt like the word set me up for that. So I think it just depends on perspective. Yeah. So I have been thinking about it, and I think I'm just going to have a different word every day.
I like that idea too.
And be intentional about it. And it'll probably be based on different things that are going on in my life at the time. And something I've been doing for a while now, and it doesn't happen every day, but I try to, before I wake up and jump out of bed, sit there and do some self-talk and different things about how my day is going to go, right? So I think that I can incorporate whatever word it needs to be for that day into it. into that self-talk before I'm even like getting up out of bed. So I'll let you know how it goes.
Okay, I like that. I like
Yeah.
that a lot. Yeah.
So you just have listening to focus on. I obviously have a whole lot of shit to work
Oh, I
work
have a
on.
lot to work on, but I just girl, I'm taking things one thing at a time.
Yeah, see, I'm all over the place.
Until people stop telling me you need to be quiet and listen. Then I'll know I've made progress.
Too funny.
It's humbling, but it's good. It's a good thing. It's
Yeah.
something you can always improve on. So anyway, with that in mind, I think we need to let everybody know we are out on all the socials.
All the socials. We are
Yeah.
there.
And we have our video on YouTube. And in addition to actually Spotify, we're uploaded on Spotify now for our video, and then audio, of course, on all the other channels. So we appreciate everybody listening. We're really looking forward to our season ahead and bringing you all kinds of fun, interesting, and controversial, and I don't know, challenging topics. So
Yeah.
with that in mind, I think
That's a wrap.
we'll sign off. It's a wrap.
All right,
Starting
everybody.
2025 with intentions, good intentions, and
Good listening.
what did you say? I'm listening. With
Too.
my listening, it's not just about listening; it's hearing. I
Yeah.
kind of went back and forth between those.
That's a very conscious thought
Yeah.
right there. So
So
that's good.
I'm finally mature. Anyway, have a great week, everybody, and we will chat with you next week.
All right.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.